Okay, welcome, and today we're going to discuss about long range and how to transition between short range and long range, okay? So if you're familiar with the other videos about short range, this is going to be like an easy recap. So the idea is, I want to leave one on the ground, is we were just emphasizing with the mechanics when we're in a short range. We are emphasizing more power by twisting and using our mechanics. But when we go in long range, we can actually take advantage of the extension of the arm, right? So that changes everything pretty much. So I'm not only going to, again, use the mechanics in short range, meaning not only the hip work and the twist and even the knee work, but I'm also going to now emphasize the extension. In this case, I'm going to take advantage of the full extension of my body. A couple of things that I have to warn. When you strike something, anything that offers any type of resistance, could be a heavy bag or it could be another person, hopefully not. When you extend your wrist, you're going to notice that the recoil, if you call it, is going to actually end up hurting your wrist. So the same way that I wouldn't recommend anybody to punch like this, I would also not recommend to overextend. Can you extend? Yes, you can definitely walk, but just be mindful that if for whatever reason you don't end up hitting what you wanted, that is a risky position to be in. So even if you're extending and you're trying to aim for as far as you can, try to avoid overextending your wrist. Can you do it? Yes, there are moments in which you're going to be, for example, flicking, and this type of movements requires you to actually extend a little bit. And there's also a couple of movements in which you are going to aim for example, the back of the head, in which you're going to aim for this retraction. And in that case, yes, you have to leave that wrist a little more mobile. Other than that, I would say keep it, if not completely contracted, try to not extend too much, okay? So once we know that, now you know that the angles, if not, we're gonna do a quick review. For Kajukenbo, it's gonna be very simple. Angles 1 to 12. Actually, there's going to be a double 12, and you're gonna see why in a second, but this is, again, a recap. If not, watch the other video, it's gonna be easier. It's easy. Whatever it is that you finish, that's where you're gonna start the next strike. So the first one is gonna be head, head. Now I'm starting from this side to the elbow and the other elbow or hip. Now 5 is going to be all the way up. Pay attention that I'm actually not doing any footwork because the footwork is separate. Then from here, 6 all the way through, 7 all the way through, 8 all the way through, 9 all the way through, 10 all the way through, 11 all the way through, and now look, 12 could be this way or that way. So that's what I'm saying, that it's going to be 12 plus 1 because it's going to be 12 this way, but in this case, I finish in this position and I can add this 12. It's the same strike, is to the head, but in this case, is from this angle from abierta rather than from cerrada. So you see from the front, it's going to look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 12 off ones. I don't want to say 13, but for the good luck, but that's the 13 all the way through, okay? So again, once you have that clear, how to do that transition. So, when we are doing, for example, a block, which is something that you're gonna see more in the future, the whole idea is to blocking in short range. You are going to be used to doing this circular motions, right? Short, if you see me from the front, is not only blocking, but also striking right away, so I can use the other hand to touch the hand of the opponent, right? So if you look at me and you're trying to strike this angle, I would just block in a circle and use the other one to check the hand. and same thing from the other side. I will do the circle and check on the other side. So again, 1, 2. This is actually striking and striking, okay? So if that's the case and then you're blocking, things change when someone can extend the hand. So again, I'm gonna go sideways so you can see it. The difference is between this to this. As you can see, there's more trajectory and it requires you to have a very basic skill in mind, which is not being there. That's your main goal. So we're going to talk about two main types of defense. One is going to be going against the strike, meaning the strike is coming this way, and I'm going to move out of the way, but at the same time, I'm going to strike this strike. So if the attack is coming this way, I'm going to move back, and I'm going to try to strike this strike. So again, this strike is coming this way, move back, and I strike the strike. So if it's coming this way, let's say the number 2, I will go back, same thing, but now I will strike the strike. And strike is coming this way, I will strike the strike. Now, this is obviously only against angle 1 and angle 2, although we will see different angles and how to respond against those. It's going to be very simple, but before even going there, I wanted to emphasize one thing. So you can see I want to minimize and I'm going to make it as easy as possible. So you see me, I'm actually just moving backwards, and that's it. It's a very simple move. It's literally just move your foot on the back to the back, and then you're going to move your body and lean back a little bit, because if the trajectory is coming this way, in this position, I want to gain as much distance as possible for just in case. So let's put my face on the side of the head and look at how far I want to be. I want to be at least that far, okay? And this is even not that much, okay? So again, I'm here, this is what I want, to gain some distance, and then I can go back. So it's a very simple footwork, 1 and 2. So again, the transition between long range and short range in terms of how to deal with that. First, we have going against the strike, and then the other one we have a type of parry from the outside. Same way that you parry against a punch by deflecting the force, you're going to do the same with the stick. So let's say that we're going to count against the same type of strikes that we were discussing right now. Number 1, coming this way again against my head. I still want to move back, but now look, I move it out of the way. So again, here, move out of the way. So in this case, I'm redirecting the strike to the opposite direction. Got it? If the person is coming this 45 degrees down, I want to redirect towards the side as much as I can. Now, a couple of things that you have to be careful. Try not to lift too far, because chances are that the stick will slide through and hit your head. To avoid that, again, you're going to move back and then move back to the front. Again, back and back to the front. But what happens if the strike is coming this way? Now look, I'm coming from the other side, right? Because the strike is coming this way and I want to move it out of the way. That's what I want to do. So the strike is coming the same way as I was describing. Step back and go back. Again, strike and go back. So as you see, it's the same move. It's just one footwork that you have to memorize. Back and forth, back and forth. That's just enough. The difference again is going to be against you striking the strike, what we were seeing before, whether it is a strike against a number 1 or against a number 2, or going or parrying, redirecting the strike. In this case, it will be that way against a number 1 and this way against a number 2. Okay? So we have covered 1 and 2, but what happened with the horizontal strikes? There are a couple of things that you have to be careful. Obviously, you cannot mimic the same strike, because if the strike is coming this way, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. If the strike is coming this way, obviously you want to strike your own hand with the strike. So how to avoid that? Well, it depends. So if the strike is coming in this direction, like this, there's very little that you can do other than not being there. But you can strike up. Imagine that you have the strike coming at you horizontally again, and then you want to strike up and then move out of the way. That would be the same as what we were seeing before, striking the strike. Okay, again, this and go back. Now, obviously, you have to be careful that your hand is not in the same height as the strike, because obviously, chances are that you're going to be hit in the hand. So to avoid that, again, you're going to do this. And look, I'm aiming a little bit higher. So again, here and go back. So you see, my hand now remains higher than usual. Just avoid that. So again, here is and go back. If it comes from this other side, same thing. We're practicing the skill of striking the strike. Again, here, this and go back, this and go back, this and go back. So again, it will be 45 degrees up, but in this case, I maintain my my fist up. I don't lower. Okay. So we have covered 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's only that now we before we have like against strike and parry. Do we have a way to parry that type of strike? Kind of, and I'm going to explain to you why. So if the strike again is coming this way, and I do this, which is what I was showing you right now, it's going against the strike, right? Now, if I go like this, like a little circle, I can redirect the strike. Obviously, you have to be realistic. If something is coming at you that quick, chances are that you're not going to be able to meet it. So how can you secure that? There's no way that you can secure, but there's a way in which you can angle in a way, as you can see. I'm going to show you again. You're here, you're angling in a way that you probably are going to either meet with some portion of the stick or the hand. So let's say that the hand is coming this way, I can secure. Okay, so again here, circle. So again, I'm doing a circle. Now, sorry, because I was showing you a different footwork. You can do the traditional back and forth, as you see, step back and come with the other one. I will show you in a little bit, in a different video, a different footwork that you can play, and you're going to do the same skills that you're learning right now, meaning the same blocks, and transitioning from short range to long range with that footwork. But as of right now, keep the same footwork to not be confusing, okay? So again, here, I step back, and then I move out of the way, okay? Look at what I'm doing with the fist. I'm actually going up and then hitting downwards. I'm actually doing this. You see, the fist goes up a little bit. You don't have to lift. That's what I'm saying. That naturally, from here, when you angle and then you try to strike, your fist is naturally going to go higher. Got it? So again, if the trajectory is horizontally from that side to the other side, I go like this and I maintain the same position. But if the strike is coming this way, I do the opposite. In this case, I will do the little circle this way. So again, how to do the little circle, see it from outside, so maybe it's a little more clear. 1, and go back. So again, walk and go back. And then the other side will be this and go back. So again, from here, this and go back. That way, as I said before, even if you don't reach the stick, because stick goes really quickly, since you're going to angle, I'm going to stop right here so you can see it. You see that it's extending towards the other person. Chances are that you're going to meet either the stick or the hand. Same thing when you do it like this. Chances are that when you do it like this, I'm going to stop right there, you're going to meet either the stick or the hand. Or some portion, as I said, it doesn't have to be in the middle of the stick. Any portion will redirect a little bit, which is what you want. But again, the most important skill is to not be there in the first place. Okay, so that's against 1, 2, 3, and 4. What happened with number 5? Number 5 is going to go through all the way up, right? It could be right here, like an uppercut. It could be to the stomach, to the side. Okay, now those are 2 different trajectories. But basically, the whole idea is to go with the same motion by thrust. Now, you can do the same thing as you just practiced. You can go against by striking up. The only difference is that now, since you have an upward motion, you have to make sure that you stop and you don't continue. Otherwise, chances are that you're gonna meet again with your fist. So it kind of looks like that. If the 5 is coming this way, I can go like that. Again here, like that. So you see, I'm actually stopping and I'm not continuing down a little bit. I prefer to go right away and strike that stick, okay? So that will be if I want to go against. What happens if I want to go, or if for whatever reason my stick is on this side and I want to go and redirect. So what I would do is I would go back and same thing. Go back and same thing. Go back and then I will redirect. Okay, so as you see, there are little circles. You don't have to be perfect, but what I want to make sure that you understand is that it needs to be extended a little bit because you want to make sure that you touch anything. If you keep it too vertical, it's not going to work as efficiently, okay? So again, kind of like an angle pointing towards the other person. That's number 5. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. They're very similar to 1 and 2. We're going to do the same thing. 1 against, the other one redirect, the other one against, and the other one redirect. So it's the same skill. Number 6 and 7, they're going to come here and it's the same thing. So again, against, redirect, against, redirect. So practice those over and over again to make it easier for you to not even think about it. So I'm going to go to the side, same thing, go against, redirect, go against, and redirect. So again, the whole idea now is to strike the strike or redirect. That's it. As I said before, you have to be careful with not striking or not meeting the strike with your own fist. So as much as you can, move backwards and then angle a little bit and be farther from the trajectory. Your fist should be farther from the trajectory of the stick, okay? So we have 6 and 7. So we have that again, just a quick rundown so you can remember 4, 5, 6, 7. Now go low 8 and 9. 8 and 9 are going to be similar. The problem is that obviously now the angles change because now I'm going to go upwards rather than downwards. So what to do? Now very simple. You're going to go, and the person is going to go upwards. I'm going to go down and up and go back. So again, down and up and go back. That's if I'm going to go against. Again, down and up, down and up. So that would be actually 9, but the whole idea is if the strike is coming this way and I want to go against, and strike and go back, strike and go back. What if I want to continue the same thing as before, but now I'm doing the circle downwards and up. This is very important that we distinguish between just when we were doing this, which is just going down, and in this case, we must lower and then strike down and bring it back up. Because you want to be in a position in which you can counter or go higher. You don't have to be on the bottom anymore, okay? So 8, back and down, okay? 9, that will be going against and go back. But what happens if I want to go again, redirecting, strike and go back, strike and go back. So again, you go lower, strike and go back up. So again, here, go back, and back up, okay? What happened with number 8? Now number 8 is coming this way. What if I want to go against? Again, should look like this. And again, go back and go back. And if I want to go redirecting this strike, and go back and go back. Make sure that again, as you swing it, that you kind of protect yourself and don't go all the way through. You want to be just enough so you are facing the person and not over twisting. So again, let's go actually how it would look like. Number 8 is coming this way. I'm here striking against the strike and go back, strike and go back, redirecting. I'm here and go back and go back. Number 9, striking coming from underneath, bottom up, strike and go back, strike and go back. I want to redirect and go back, downward and up and go back. So always make sure that after you finish the footwork, you go back to the same position. That's important for later, for when we do counters. As of right now, you just need to know that it's a useful skill. Although yes, there will be chances in which you not only are going to stay here, but you will continue to retreat, okay? But build that habit, that's very important. 10 and 11 is the same as 6 and 7. Same thing as we were doing before. If you want to go against, it looks like that. If you want to go and redirect, it will look like this. Just make sure that when you go higher, again, you don't meet the same with the same height. Okay, just make sure that you always have the same, a different height than the trajectory of the stick. Now, final one is going to be 12. The 12 is going to be the rooftop. So it's going to be this and moving out of the way. So if the strike is coming this way horizontally and vertically to my head, I move out of the way. Now, two different things. I can go, if I'm close enough to reach for the other hand, I can try to angle. Now, important, if you're facing me and you're striking all the way through, if I just do this, look at what happened. You're going to hit me on the arm. So how can I avoid that? By moving out of the way and to the side. That will be striking the stick. Okay, so one more time, striking the stick. Now you can go upwards, but not too much because you're actually going to prioritize not being there. Okay, and the other way that you can do is by angling on the other side. If the strike is coming in this trajectory and moving towards that direction, like this, angle back. So again, here and go back. So again, if you're close enough to reach with the other hand, you can. But if you're farther away and this is coming this way, I will not recommend you to actually even reach. Just enough by you moving and striking this. And on the other side, same thing. And if you're close enough, you can angle and then move out of the way. So you can see, those are the two only options in which you're going to escape and moving to the side. Practice this. And then I'll see you in the next video. Mucho.